would like to say that I'm really impressed with the gentleman in the middle with his entrepreneurship. He reminds me of, I tell you, he looks like Jay-Z and he sounds like Jay-Z. That's just on a personal note. But I like his entrepreneurship, and I really, really do. And I think he would be a very, very, he's a very good candidate. And I like when he talked about there's no short-term fix for long-term problems, so to speak. And I might be phrasing that the wrong way, but I just like the ideals that he has to offer. Also, I would like to say, Darius, you've been in office for a while, and you have had time to basically resolve some problems or put some ideas to some problems.
He's never. Time out for 1 second. He's never been in office. Go ahead.
I've never been elected in any office. So.
Okay, Darius, you haven't been a council person at all?
No, ma'am. Sorry to disappoint you.
Okay, so this is your first time running?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, maybe I'm mistaking you for somebody else, and then I do apologize for that.
That's fine.
Okay, so again, I do apologize for that. But, whoever was in charge of that district obviously did not do a good job.
Okay, thank you.
To be honest with you, but I like the gentleman in the middle.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Did you want to say something about education before I take this call?
With education, what we propose is what we call learning neighborhoods, and so we're looking at how we support our education systems in our school. The 3rd District has been the incubator over the last 15 years for the charter school movement, its successes and its failures. It houses Eastside Charter School, Prestige, it houses Thomas Edison, Moyer, and the former Marion T. Academy. And so what I will do as your council person is provide those services and after-school programs to close that achievement gap, and also in the summers.
How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hi. I was listening. I've heard Chi speak before, and I've heard Darius Brown speak before, but I was trying to hear a little bit more from Gundy. He's speaking in real generalities, and I wanted him to be a little more specific about some of the things that he thinks he could do to improve the 3rd District.
Okay, hold on for 1 second. You, Gundy, the question's for you.
Yes. Well, first thing first, what I believe I could do with the 3rd District differently is so far what I have just did with Moyer, for an example. Allow them to look at ways of improving the education system.
Right, and what ways specifically were you talking about? Because that's where I'm getting confused. You're speaking very generally, but I don't hear any specifics in what you're saying.
Okay, thank you. You want to listen? I'm going to hang up and let you listen, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Well, one of the reasons is in the past they have been using the online technology teaching. This upcoming school year, they will have certified teachers in every classroom to give them on-hand lessons as well as technological skills. So that's one key component. They're going to be introducing arts and academics after school all year round.
Is this for all the schools?
Right now, this is for Moyer Academy. I'm speaking up on Moyer because I have a direct relationship in trying.
You know what I was getting Moyer mixed up with. What's the other school in your district?
Eastside Charter.
Eastside Charter, not Eastside Charter. Thomas Edison.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, no. Okay, that's the online learning school.
K-12.
That got from Theo Gregory. Got you.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, good. Would you finish your comment?
We can go to another.
Okay, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Hello?
Me?
Yeah, go ahead. You on?
Yeah, I'm on. How you doing, Norman?
How you doing?
I got a question for the 3 candidates. I don't know Brother Darius. I grew up with Cheech. From the East Side. My name's Ali, by the way. I grew up on the East Side. I grew up in Compton. I knew Gundy from the East Side during my young adult days, so I known Gundy for about 20-some years. But my question is to you. I recently moved out of Wilmington about 14 years ago. And now, me personally, I'm a single person. If I was single, I'd move back to Wilmington in a heartbeat. But I got my wife and children to think about. What can you do as a politician, as a politician, what can you do to help bring the crime rate down, to bring people like myself back into the city where who they want to be and make it safe for their kids?
Great question. And also, guys, we got to start condensing our questions because we got a lot of phone calls, and you see how much time, and I want to give you guys time to speak at the end. Okay, is that fair?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Answer. You can answer. Go ahead.
Well, one of the things, his question was, his question was.
Go ahead. Turn your TV down. Turn it down. We answer the other questions first. No, go ahead.
His question was about crime.
Yeah.
His question was about what can we do to make him and his family feel safe enough to move back
All right.
into the city.
The big thing about crime in Wilmington, we understand that we have a lot of violence, a lot of issues going on in our city. But again, we have to be accountable. We have to understand that a lot of our kids that are getting involved in shootings, whether being shot or shooting at someone, are people who put themselves in those kind of situations. We have to be realistic. My condolences out to anyone who loses a family member because of violence, but 9 out of 10 people who get shot or get killed are people who kind of involve themselves in them situations. Now you can say, oh, this wasn't my such and such, my uncle or this person. Yeah, that's the 1 out of 10. But most of our people who involve themselves into a lifestyle that's going to warrant that. If you don't want to get knocked out, don't get into a boxing ring. You know, if you don't want to get dunked on, don't try to stop nobody's dunk. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation, and we have to be realistic with that. It's not like the news journal is going to paint a picture. And I'm not talking bad about the news journal because God knows they're going to attack me. But what I'm saying is when people look at it from afar and say they want to come to Wilmington, they look like Wilmington is the worst place in the world. But a lot of these crimes are happening in certain targeted areas.
How you doing? Welcome to the show. Hello?
Yes, I just want to say that I am a 100% supporter of Darius. I am well aware of what Darius has been doing behind the scenes to bring in resources into the district. So my question is, where have the other 2 candidates been?
Thank you. Good question. Person asked, where have you guys been?
Well, I've always been here in the district. I don't look to get a lot of limelight or accolades.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Hold on for a second, okay?
Okay, sure.
Good. You can finish.
Okay, I don't look to get a lot of accolades, but I have a lot of grassroots relationships with folks who have turned their lives around. Actually, I have 2 franchise wanting to move to the 3rd district. As far as what was the other question?
No, he just said that pretty much like, I mean, I guess the gist of his question is he feel like Darius has been out there.
Okay.
And you 2 have not. That's why he's saying he's important. That's the gist of his question. And I guess you have mentioned that you have businesses in that community, you live in that community.
Yes.
You have grassroots in that community. I mean, is that pretty much it?
Well, you finished?
But I guess he's saying how involved have you been?
No, I've been involved. For the last 4 or 5 years, everyone knows on that side of town that I've been building an early childhood learning center. Everyone who's came over there saw that I took the worst building in that neighborhood, had a dream and a vision of working on early childhood development. One of the things I want to work on especially is a pre-performing arts, because kids in our community who are involved in performing arts graduate at a 95 to 97% rate. So I've been working on this building for
Let me ask you a question. Do you agree with the last caller? Have you been more involved? Do you feel like you've been more involved?
Yes, I've been more involved. I've been involved with churches, I've been involved with neighborhoods, I've been involved with civic associations, and I've been involved in government.
Do you guys agree with that?
And we've been at plenty of those meetings together, and I wouldn't sit here and say—
You were at many of those meetings, and at some point you left, and I'm glad you came back in the last couple months.
No, I haven't been to any meetings a couple months.
Gundy,
For 4
I'm
years,
glad he came back for the last 6
4
months.
years, we've gone to several meetings, plenty of meetings together,
I
working on initiatives together.
I'm not knocking that.
Okay,
I said you were around, but you said you were building a building. That may have been why you weren't at the meetings, which is a viable reason.
I mean, I've been there.
You hadn't been there.
Yeah.
What do you say?
As an intervention specialist, I deal with the actual root of most of our problems.
Right.
I don't attend a whole lot of meetings because the meetings become more meetings. Mm-hmm. So the meetings are vital, but dealing with the core of the issues is more important than going to meetings to me.
Gotcha. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Sorry for keeping you holding.
That's okay. I just want to commend all 3 of the brothers for even running, because you hear a lot of negativity about that part of town a lot of times. And, you know, just these 3 guys being here, running for office is a positive from the 3rd district, I think.
Thank you very much.
So all 3 of them should be commended, and it just shows that no matter what side of town you're coming from, you know, it could be the lowest part of town, that you can be involved in the community. And all 3 of them, I commend all 3 of them. I don't live in the 3rd district, so I won't be voting for either one of them, but I just wanted to comment and let them know that
you can write all 3 of us checks
I'm in all 3 of the corners, actually. Norm, beautiful show.
Thank you as always.
Thank you.
How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hello?
Yeah, how you doing? We got to keep the calls moving because we run out of time, and I want to give these guys time to close it out at the end.
Okay.
Okay. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Norman, it's Carmen again.
Uh-huh.
Listen, I called last week, and I didn't get my question answered. So I'm calling back basically to ask the same question to the guys that are running 3rd District City Council. How do you guys feel about this snitches give stitches and anonymously making a tip if you have information about a murder? Like, how would that fit into your candidacy or your, you know, just the idea of doing that? Because it's something that has gotten into our brains at some point about this snitching thing, and it's really, it's kind of backwards because snitching is really only when you've been you've committed a crime with someone, and you call it getting down first, or
Carmen,
something to that effect.
That's a very good question. I'm sorry they didn't really answer it last week, but let's see if these guys answer.
Yeah, they didn't. They looked in the camera like they were dead.
I agree.
Like deers in headlights.
Let's let them answer, babe.
I agree.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up.
Yeah, all right. I mean, I agree. I think when you talk about stop snitching, if I were to do a crime, if me and Norman would do a crime together, and I got caught, and I told, you know, the law enforcement so that I would get a lesser sentence, then that would be snitching. But if Norman robbed someone or killed someone or shot someone, and I was an eyewitness to it, and I chose not to tell, I did tell, I don't believe that that's snitching. I think that's what we need more in our communities. That's what we need when it comes to the shooting that happened on 10th and Bennett. Yep. That's what we need when it comes to the shooting on Knife in between Spruce and Pine. That's what we need in every area of our city. But for me, that's what I need my residents in the 3rd District to do. And not me as a council person, I'll stand with you, I'll support you as I have in the past.
How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Good evening, Norm. Another great show. Pastor D here. Let me congratulate each one of your guests on even the courage and willingness to run and serve. Having said that, let me say, Richard, I mean, I know each one of you, I bitterly and utterly disagree with your assessment that 80% of the people who have been murdered is because of a lifestyle choice they have made. I think it may be the most dangerous statement I've ever heard anybody make. And I would not like to go into detail on it, but I would take exception to it, and I would challenge you to prove that statement with either statistics, police information, but I bitterly disagree. Having said that, I would ask each of you to tell me what it is you, if you are blessed to be elected, would do personally to reduce the level of violence in your district, not the entire city, but in your district, that district being from point A to point B. What would you do?
Okay, thank you, buddy. Hey, let him answer the phone. Go ahead. Yeah, go respond.
I respectfully disagree with the fact that you feel as though what I said is wrong. And my numbers may be staggering, but let me tell you something. I had a very, very good friend of mine, one of my best friends, and I'm going to say his name. His mother's probably not going to be mad at me. Maurice Goodman. He's a guy who was kidnapped, tortured, murdered, and all that. And I spoke to his mom candidly about the situation, and she knew what her son done. And she knew that this was a possibility that something could happen to him in his lifestyle. What her was how it happened and the sentences that the guys got for what they done to him. They got a total of, I want to say, 18 years. One guy got 12 years, one guy got 6 years, one guy got 2 years. You know, but they kidnapped him, tortured him, murdered him, cut him up, and all kinds of stuff. What I'm saying is that number may be wrong, but oftentimes we know what our kids are doing. If I was to go in my son's room and find a gun, a bag of coke, and a bag of money, first thing I'm going to do is get an insurance policy out on him, because I understand that if he's in that lifestyle, something can come with it, and that's just realistic. For those people, like I said initially, if you had a loved one who was not involved in that, then I'm not talking about your child, and I'd send you my deepest condolences. So don't be offensive like I'm being offended. But far too often, we are doing things in our community that put ourselves at risk, whether it's to go to jail, to be murdered, or to be shot. That's just a realistic thing.